All right, well, hello everyone and happy Tuesday. It's digital host AJ Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I hope everyone is having a great Tuesday so far, wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your afternoon here. Now, as you are probably already aware of, we have the potential of some icy weather moving into the Tennessee Valley this weekend. We're going to toss the ball over to Jayda Russell for the latest. Jayda?
Hey, AJ, and hello to all of our Before the Four viewers. Here's what we're looking at for that winter storm coming this weekend. Latest model runs here. We have a good deal of snow that's coming in first. And you'll notice the white and the purple area. We have that coming in first, but a lot of our southern communities will see a mix of sleet and possible freezing rain. We're still working out on what this precipitation will look like going into Saturday, early Saturday morning, but we start accumulating a lot of this going into the early morning hours. And by the time we get to 1 o'clock, one of the concerns is that roads may become a little slick and almost impassable by starting at 1 o'clock. That's what we're looking at right now with that ice accretion. We're paying attention to the levels. And right now we're expecting to see anywhere between maybe an inch or half an inch to an inch and a half of ice by the end of Sunday when this is all said and done. You can kind of see that there's a warm front, a warm nose here moving through the north as well as we continue to roll through the rest of this particular model run here. You can see this is picking it up Sunday morning, still seeing some rain into the forecast. But the other issue that we are facing is that our temperatures are not going to be above freezing for a good moment. A lot of our overnight temperatures drop into the teens, and we're also expecting overnight on Sunday into Monday to drop to a whopping 8 degrees, single digits for us. So it's going to be a little dangerous out there as far as the cool weather goes, the chilly weather. It's going to be freezing as well. So please drip your pipes and start making adjustments now. We're going to see some rain chances going into Wednesday and Thursday that will kind of push our temperatures down just a bit. We've got that Arctic blast coming out of the north, and we'll continue to see that and track it out as we go into the next few days. And what you'll notice is when we lose that precipitation, we'll still be left with the residual effects of what we saw from earlier that in the weekend. So we've got a mix of sleet, freezing rain, snow moving in Friday evening, and hazardous travel on Saturday and Sunday. Bitter cold. So just to sum that up for you, like I mentioned, rain chances will return to the forecast starting tomorrow and into Thursday. Friday is our first of 3 first alert weather days. And actually, we're considering making Monday another first alert weather day, just seeing how things shape up as we go into the following work week. With that, I hope you'll tune in at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Brad will have the latest updates on everything you need to know about the snowstorm this weekend.
All right, that is certainly good to know. Thank you so much, Jayda. And also, you guys already know the drill. 48 First Alert Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. He'll be back here in the streaming center, and he'll have all the latest he's seeing on the radar as we edge closer into the weekend. So you're definitely just not going to want to miss it. 48 First Alert Weather Extra. But now we're going to jump into some of the day's top stories, and in a bit of breaking news just into our newsroom, Huntsville Hospital Health Services will be acquiring Crestwood Medical Center in a new agreement between Huntsville Hospital and Community Health Systems Incorporated. Now, officials say this acquisition is expected to close by the end of this first quarter, so pretty soon, and we'll have all the latest on this new deal coming up in our evening newscasts. And now a Colbert County man convicted in November of last year for a 2024 murder was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole today. Now in November, a jury found DeCoven Williams guilty of killing Nathan Littleton after deliberating for about 2.5 hours. Littleton was found dead inside a home in Tuscumbia after being shot multiple times in October of 24. The gun used in the shooting was later found in Williams's car. But now we're going to move over to Florence, where city leaders are expected to vote tonight on whether or not to add a plaque in front of a Confederate monument just outside of the courthouse. Those in favor of adding the plaque say it's much needed to bring clarity to Alabama's history. Aria Pons with more.
Our heads, we're thinking, in our back pocket, we have this reassurance that, okay, it's still going to come up for a vote. And it did not.
The nonprofit Project Say Something has been fighting to remove the Confederate statue sitting outside the Lauderdale County Courthouse for 7 years. But eventually, the fight led to a compromise.
The proper context is all we're asking for.
Instead, settling a lawsuit against the city of Florence with an agreement to place a historical marker near the statue offering context. Project Say Something members Lee Murkey and Unique Dunstan say they were thrown for a loop at Tuesday's city council meeting, where a vote on the marker and its wording was nowhere on the agenda.
So from here, we feel like we look like the liars in the situations.
They were not the only ones surprised by the change.
The reason I was here is to speak out against the marker. I found out it's not on the agenda, but that happens quite often with the city council.
Up until this afternoon, I thought that the marker would be on the agenda.
Councilwoman Katrina Simmons says she even double-checked before the meeting. President Dick Jordan says the agenda was full and delayed the vote. So where will the group go from here? Murkey says his patience is running out on the compromise the city and the nonprofit made. He says they might as well just fight again to have the monument relocated.
So if we're going to be tied up in bureaucratic nonsense, why not just do everything we can to relocate the monument, kill two birds with one stone, and actually take some steps toward making this community better for everyone?
With that, we're going to head to break, but coming up, details on a proposed state bill to expand prostate screening coverage to those at risk, and Huntsville city leaders speaking out after last weekend's shooting at a nightclub. It's all ahead. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. All right, break time is over, y'all. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, last weekend in Huntsville, a man was shot and killed at the Icon Ultra Lounge on Posey Avenue. City leaders are now weighing in on the influx of nightlife violence here in the Rocket City. Callie Neese spoke with those city leaders, and let's take a listen to what they had to say.
One city leader says some changes that have been made have been working to prevent club shootings. However, she says there is more work that needs to be done. Early Sunday morning, Huntsville police responded to Icon Ultra Lounge near University in the Parkway. Officers found Corian Ziegler, who was shot and killed, and another victim with non-life-threatening injuries who was transported to the emergency room by car. Huntsville police officials say they arrested 40-year-old John Linder in connection to this weekend shooting. The Madison County District Attorney ruled the fatal shooting justified under Alabama law. However, Linder faces charges of first-degree assault and shooting into an unoccupied vehicle. He is now free on bond. Late last year, Councilwoman Michelle Watkins supported a group of local club owners in their club jail program. This program allows club owners to collectively make a list of banned people who have caused issues in their establishments. Watkins says so far it has helped prevent violent crimes inside clubs.
I think club jail is enough for the inside, but I don't know the solution for outside of the club. You know, when people are exiting, can you stop individuals from going to their cars? When people are, you know, outside the club and you're inside and you really don't know what's going on. So I really don't know what the solution is for that.
She adds that more discussion needs to be had to figure out what solutions there are to prevent shootings from happening outside of these clubs.
A lot of times it's people get into arguments and the first thing they result to is shooting, and that's not the solution. And unfortunately it happened outside the club, but it didn't happen on the inside.
At last check, there's no word on when Linder's first hearing will be set. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And now a proposed Alabama bill will expand coverage for prostate screenings if passed. Will Eldridge with all the details.
It opens it up to high-risk men. So primarily this disease is more prominent in African-American males than it is white males. And it opens it up from 40 to 50 is basically what it does that territory. So it gets to look at it a little bit quicker.
Alabama Senator Steve Livingston says there is data that shows black men and men with family history of prostate cancer are at higher risk of developing it. He wants to make sure those who need to be screened the most can get their screens, which is why he is sponsoring Senate Bill 19. It would require insurance companies to cover screenings at age 40 fully without copays for black men and any men with a history of the disease in his family. I spoke to David McElhaney, a volunteer with Zero Prostate Cancer and prostate cancer minister, who says removing the cost barrier could lead to earlier diagnosis and better outcomes.
Caught early, prostate cancer is nearly 100% curable. But caught late, it drops down to about a 30% pass rate or success rate. So it's critical that we get men tested earlier.
If approved, the bill would take effect in October. Reporting in Huntsville, Will Eldridge, 48, on your side.
And now let's go into the stories that you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Utility companies preparing for the potential icy weather ahead. Callie Neese is speaking with leaders today, and we'll have more coming up. EMA preparations and the city of Decatur holding a town hall to address concerns from the community. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And it is that time, y'all. It is time for Facebook Fun, our 48 Facebook question today. We asked it a bit earlier at 9:30 this morning. And of course, that question we asked, are you hoping for snow this weekend? Now, we heard from Jayda. The chance is very much there, but we want to know from you. Are you hoping for snow this weekend? And let's see what you all had to say. All right, looks like Rhonda said no or ice, so no snow, no ice. That's what Rhonda is hoping for. Diane as well, she says no, no, no. I feel you there, Diane. I very much do. But Sherry, she said yes, she is very much so wanting to see some snow here in the Tennessee Valley this weekend. David said Monday through Friday, yes. Saturday or Sunday, no, unless it's enough to stick around for a few days. So a little bit of both, not during the weekday or not during the weekends, but during the weekday, unless it's going to stick around. Sandra, what did Sandra say? No, we don't want snow or ice. Well, you heard it there, a little bit of mixed reactions there. Some wanting to see the snow and then others not wanting to. I'm very much split on that as well. I'm not sure. I don't know if I definitely know I do not want to see ice, but maybe some snow for a little while. That wouldn't be too bad, but I'm certainly not a fan of cold weather. I definitely prefer the warmer months of the year and not the January and Februaries of the year. I'm a summer kid for sure. But y'all had super awesome comments as always. Thank you so much for leaving a comment to our 48 Facebook question. That is just about it for today's Before the Four, but I want to thank you all for sticking around, spending a bit of your Tuesday afternoon here. I hope you all have a great night tonight. Stay warm, crank up that heat. And if you're driving in your car, crank up that heat because it is certainly getting cold, no doubt about it. Bust out a few of those winter jackets. And if you have an electric blanket at your house, at your apartment, wherever you live, you might want to bust those out as well. But y'all enjoy our evening newscast tonight. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.